For our first two awards of the night, I wanted to have someone who really knows our awardees well come up and speak. So I would like to introduce Kelly Pereira, the Family Self-Sufficiency Director for Greenfield and Franklin County Regional Housing Authorities, and the former Dial Self STEP Program Director. So, Kelly?
You're welcome. Hello. Thank you for that introduction. For those of you who've worked for Dial Self, you know that once you've worked there, you're always part of the family, so it's nice to be back. So, in your brochure, you're going to read about the accomplishments of two powerful, intelligent, and creative women. And I would like to take this opportunity to tell you a bit about what I know about them as humans and what I've learned from working with them. Joyce Miller, better known as BJ, or Baby Joyce, she entered the STEP program already a knowledgeable trainer and volunteer with heartfelt and dynamic work in areas of social justice and gender roles, and a strong advocate for GLBT youth. She was a leader in her family. She took on much of the child rearing, and she supported a disabled mother. She knew it was time to encourage and cultivate her own interests and growth, and I remember she felt guilty about that. Her program participation was amazing. I believe she taught the staff more than we taught her. BJ was somebody who needed quiet encouragement, but she already knew her goals. She already had an established path, even if she didn't really know that existed yet. I was recently having coffee with BJ, and I was listening to her discuss her experience as a new AmeriCorps member. She was describing a bit about her experience as a youth when she was in STEP, when she was working with AmeriCorps members who served at both the STEP program and Community Action youth programs, and how that has really informed the work that she's doing now. I'm always so thankful when I have an opportunity to experience the way that youth who participated in our programs got to learn something that they've used in their future. She recalled during our discussion that she learned something new and valuable about leadership. She described what she previously thought of as leadership, and described a type of head honcho, chief, director, somebody who's always in charge. But that on that particular day, she was doing the ropes course with her AmeriCorps cohort. And she realized that some people are leaders because they encourage leadership in others. And that there's this quiet nature about that leadership that is really powerful. And I kind of sat there a little bit amazed that BJ, of all people, hadn't already processed this type of engagement leadership. Because if I was asked to describe BJ, that's exactly who I would have described. When she was in the STEP program, there were many times that BJ was a sort of house leader without ever stepping foot in front of the spotlight. And there were a lot of times when BJ and I would have these long, drawn-out discussions where we would be exploring some topic, usually political. Sometimes, it was in reference to gender normatives. Sometimes it was about how we really wanted to support GLBT youth and how, it was just unfair, everything that was happening for them. And I like to think that we both walked away from the conversation more informed. But really, I think what was happening is I was walking away from the conversation feeling like, oh my God, I really need to know more, because she knows way more than I do. She has a calming presence that often supported other youth. She has a natural guidance in the way that she interacts with others and displays knowledge and experience well beyond the years that she has visited this earth. We used her all the time in life skills classes because she's an incredibly skilled and organized presenter and trainer. And last year, I engaged her as a speaker at the legislative breakfast, and she was eloquent and moving when she presented to the community there. I have often watched her and wondered how I could possibly be as poised as she is. She has a quiet fire burning in that mind of hers, and I'm really so happy to be here to present her with this award. And I'm really thrilled that I get to still work with BJ on a regular basis and see the incredible, professional, and gifted individual that she's become. I'm really proud of you. Congratulations.
Whoops. You're going to make me cry. You know that.
Good.
I'm just really thankful to be in the room with a lot of people that I recognize and a lot of people who've supported me over the years. And I just want to give a heartfelt thank you to everybody. And I don't know, I'm probably going to cry when I go home. So thank you, everybody. You're all just wonderful, and what you do is definitely impacting the community in a very positive way. Thanks.
Okay, I'm going to take a sip of water. So I started my career at DSYCS as a youth worker in the STEP program under the leadership of Kate Allen in 2006. I had no idea what I was doing, like really, none. And I had no idea what this experience would mean for me both personally and professionally. I had a lot of firsts with Elizabeth Carlton. She was the first participant that was placed on my caseload, and I remember vividly sitting in my very first case management meeting at DSYCS, and that was with Elizabeth Carlton. I remember everything about her that day, even what she was wearing. Red sweatshirt, lots of gold jewelry. She was hot-headed and fiery and defiant, and I was scared to death of her. But I soon found myself really looking forward to our visits. Elizabeth had goals and aspirations that I found inspiring, but really it was because I was repeatedly challenged on a regular basis by her creative rule-breaking and ability to figure out how to get her needs met. That's how we say it, right? Although a lot of times that meant she was going to be violating some clear program expectations. Like, for example, Elizabeth had decided there was no way she was not going to have a cat. And so she would hide the cat box in her tub, and she would hand the cat over to her neighbor while I came and did house inspection, or if I came to visit her, or if I had a meeting with her. She was really creative about it. She had this way of smiling, this like know-it-all smile that you had trouble being anything but intrigued by her manipulative yet fun-loving behavior. We were really immediately connected. But we drew closer when Liz became pregnant with her son while she was living in the STEP program. I was also pregnant with my son, so it makes a lot of sense that we would get so close. We both now have 8-year-old boys, and then some others. I learned more in recent years, though, about how much was actually happening that I wasn't aware of when she was in the STEP program, and how becoming pregnant may have saved her life, or maybe just put her on a path that was different than what she was headed down at that particular time. She was really lucky in that program. She got an apartment and a Section 8 voucher. I work in housing. That's like so impossible now. So back then it was kind of surprising that that would happen. But for Liz, challenging life experiences were not to become something of the past. Over the years, despite various roadblocks and difficult circumstances, I have witnessed her ability to self-advocate, to rise above judgment, to take on roles of leadership, to use her children and the future that she wants for them as reasons to keep going, and to engage in mending or developing important family connections. And now, I see her choosing to give back. I've kept an eye on the amazing accomplishments that she now gets to claim as her own. She's interviewed me for classes she was in. She presented to me when I was the STEP director, and she was the vice president of Student Senate at GCC. And a few months ago, I attended a Franklin County Resource Network meeting, as I do regularly. I sat down, I looked across the room, and there was Liz, sitting across from me. And she was representing the Montague Catholic Social Ministries, an organization that I've had very strong professional connections to for a really long time, and I was kind of taken back. And I realized, I looked at her face, and I knew that all of the work that she had done to get herself where she wanted to go had brought her to a seat at that table. The other day, Kelsey Wessels reminded me that I received a phone call in the middle of the night a few months ago from Elizabeth Carlton because she happened to meet someone who was in dire need of support and happened to be a STEP participant and said so. And she called me because mine was the number she knew, and she needed me to help her get in touch with the on-call staff for the STEP program at DSYCS because she knew that they would want to be there to support her, or this participant. And if she hadn't been there, then likely this participant's situation may have been worse. I'm really excited to see her choose to work in human services and now to move on to public policy. She's gifted, compassionate, but she's also incredibly relatable, and she will understand the needs of the people she serves due to her own experiences. I'm just sitting on the sidelines now, Liz. I'm cheering you on. Congratulations.
So I'm going to break the first rule in public speaking by not having a speech. You're never supposed to just go off your mind. But it's been a long day, and 20 page research papers and 13-page history papers are a little more pressing, plus diapers and runny noses and all that good stuff. If it wasn't for Dial South and the support, stability, and really believing in me in times that I didn't believe in myself, although it looked like I was advocating for myself, sometimes it was just wanting to know I could do it. I wouldn't be where I am today at Mount Holyoke, full scholarship, and really never thought I'd even graduate GCC. So I just want to say thank you, and especially to Kelly, who was at that time, and still now sometimes, the mom who was closer to me at the time. I had another mom, but she was always there. So thank you all.